Good evening, campers, dreamers, and babysitters, and welcome to our review of Infinity Pool.
You know, James, do you worry they got the wrong man?
So, Brandon Cronenberg has a new movie out in theaters, and we just got to take a look at it. So, we spent the week kind of getting a little more familiarized with him and his work. We saw Possessor. We put up a review up on the channel for that if you want to check that out. That was his 2020 film.
Yep.
And
Yep.
then you said Antiviral, the one before that came out 2013, 2012.
Yeah, somewhere around there. I don't know the exact date.
Okay, so yeah, it seems like I think you mentioned this in the Possessor review that he's starting to pick up steam a little bit because now we're sitting in the year of 2023 and we've got his next movie. And yeah, I mean, Possessor was really an interesting concept that I felt was executed beautifully. Both from a cinematic standpoint, I guess from just the presentation, construction, all of that, even down to the characters and storytelling. So I had pretty high expectations walking into Infinity Pool, just seeing the man's repertoire beforehand. And I think I'll start things off by saying, because you said it in our short, I really enjoyed this movie.
Yeah. I thought it was really well done. I think in a space where so many things have been done already, where I think Brandon Cronenberg really thrives with these science fiction elements that are just really unique. I mean, you look at Possessor and now comparing it to Infinity Pool, you have two really unique spins on things here.
Mm-hmm.
I love the element that he added to Infinity Pool. It kind of gives you almost that narrative maybe on exploitation in certain, going places and things like that, and bringing that science fiction-y kind of spin to it, which was a lot of fun. It's real offbeat and off-putting almost in a sense. There's some scenes in here that are just really odd when I mean, I don't think it's really any secret, especially if you watch the trailer. They're dealing with kind of more of a body double aspect here, and the scenes that they set up in this are just absolutely off-putting in a certain sense, but then almost become a little bit of comical in the instance that some of these characters get themselves into.
I was gonna say, yeah, I was really kind of at first a little put off, but really warmed up quickly to the amount of comedy that was in the film.
Yeah.
And there is one sequence in particular that really lays on thick that, yes, this was supposed to be for laughs, this part here. Which is just something I did not expect. You see this trailer, you see Brandon Cronenberg's name, and you get this kind of an expectation that, and the concept that it's presenting, it's going to be complex and it's going to be something that's not going to give you a lot of answers. The thing that I'm surprised about now seeing Possessor in this with Brandon Cronenberg's work is that they're very easy to understand. Once he kind of gets that general concept out there, I don't think there's anything that necessarily leaves your imagination up to really, like, there's stuff to chew on, of course, but it's never like oh, I don't fully understand everything that happened. And I got to give him credit for that, because it's kind of this nice melding of hand-holdiness, but also not treating his audience like they're morons. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I really feel like he's a very well-rounded filmmaker, I guess is the best way I could put it with these two films.
Yeah, and I think that's where some filmmakers do struggle, where they want to tell a unique story and maybe they get a little too in their own head, where you're taking so many twists that it's hard for the audience to keep up. Where I think Brandon Cronenberg here really keeps the originality of what he wants to do, but doesn't go far off into left field where it becomes almost, you lose audience bit by bit by bit. I think the audience sticks with you throughout the entire film, and then it wraps it up nicely so that you can easily digest it. Maybe you need a second viewing, but even going back to Possessor, that one's very easy to understand.
Mhm.
And then Infinity Pool, looking at this one, when you sit with it, it's like, okay, I'm picking up all the points, and by the end of the credits, you're sitting there right with the filmmaker, knowing what he wanted to express. And I think that's kind of the beauty about Brandon Cronenberg here is, we talked about the comedy and everything like that, where, again, like Possessor, where I mentioned in that review where I said, you're not overloaded with gore throughout the entire film. When the moments happen, he makes them count. But again, here, I think he shows how diverse he is as a filmmaker, where he
Hmm.
can mingle all these tones together, but then still kind of have that notable Cronenberg aspect to these films that makes it work.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, he's definitely looking at these two films specifically, and we keep comparing them, but because Possessor is still so fresh in our head.
Yeah.
But to speak on this film's own merits, I mean, it's really I don't think this is going to be for everybody, but I would recommend this to a lot of people. I would have people go sit down and see it. Now, um, we do know that there was an NC-17 cut, and this was toned down a bit to get it an R rating to go into most theaters. And I can totally see where if any of more of this was extended, there's definitely a lot of violence. There's a lot of nudity.
He
There's a
walks
lot
the
of
line.
awkward situations.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I think this may have been the movie with the grossest human penis I think I've ever seen in my life. No offense to the actor, it was one of those things where it's like, oh my god, like it's just that kind of stuff that off puts you, and the situation.
Yeah.
It was something else, man. But at the end of the day, it was still really good. Like it was still a very well-rounded story with a very interesting concept, and the performances across the board were stellar. I
Oh
mean,
man.
Mia
Um,
Goth and Alexander Skarsgård are definitely the standouts, but when they play off of each other, especially Mia Goth, like my God, she had 2022. She had two really excellent tour de force performances. This is great. This is just another step into that catalog. And if Maxine releases later this year, I mean, she's going to be 2 for 2 with 22 and 23 in my book.
oh yeah. I think Cronenberg he gets the most out of his actors, and I love that. Infinity Pool's it seems to be probably the best showcase that he's going to get, just because of the cast that he's been able to pull out here. As soon as we knew Alexander Skarsgård and Mia Goth were both going to be in this, I immediately got excited to see what kind of
Hmm.
performances we were going to get. And I mean, we all talk about Mia Goth. I mean, she's great. This is no different. It's classic Mia Goth stuff. And, it's funny to say that in the only so many performances that we've gotten from her, but it's so notable. And she does such a great job that um, she's already known as a scene stealer, and it's
Hmm.
no different here. But Alexander Skarsgård, I mean, he adds so much to the dynamic into those scenes where he has a chance to kind of go out and flex a little bit, but more so he's kind of the straight man a lot of the times where we're seeing
Hmm.
things through the lens of him. But there are a few scenes in here that he plays off so well. There's one particular kind of he's an author, and then when we kind of get into maybe a couple of reviews of his book, just kind of seeing that, and us being aspiring screenwriters and things like that, you kind of really feel for the guy, and I think there are a lot of those human elements that he brings in there that really kind of bring us back to baseline when we're kind of getting out into left field a little bit. The humanity that Alexander Skarsgård brings to the character, I think really brings us back, to reality.
I would agree. And, I want to say that like this is Mia Goth's movie, but I think the two just play off each other so
Yeah.
well, and they are actors who are not afraid to really take in and do off the beaten path kind of roles and things like that. And to see these two kind of collide together, it's a match made in heaven. Honestly, like I think that they both have a very interesting arc. There's definitely a lot of tension between them. Obviously there's romantic sexual tension, but then there's also legitimate tension between them as just being adversaries at some points. They switch the dynamic back and forth so naturally, and they both really feel like they fit their roles.
And I love the thrill ride that Brandon Cronenberg takes us on
Hmm.
between the two, just because they first meet and you pick up on that sexual tension, and then we're kind of on the outs a little bit, and you don't know what to think of it, and then you kind of get this rekindling that you really want these two to be together a little bit, and then and then they're at odds again, and you hate me a god. So it's like I think they did this so well where um just honing in on that relationship that those two have, and even the way that we leave it is just like very unique, very different. and almost something you can really apply to, maybe not to turned up to 10 like that, but you can apply to actual human relationships out in the real world.
Yeah, and I think one of the things I was impressed by, and I think it's because I even said it in our short, was just that we've had such a stacked month this January with a lot of good flicks. Even some stuff that we've gotten to see that we're going to talk about soon to really add to our pile. But just in general, we've had a lot of really great things with Megan and Skinamarink. And now this, all really different across the board, as to where Megan is a crowd pleaser. And then Skinamarink is totally a particular taste. Like, you have to be prepared for that. And then this one, honestly, to me, feels like the most, again, well-rounded is the term I want to use for this, and I think Brandon Cronenberg at the moment, because yes, it's weird. Yes, it has a lot of stuff that's going to throw people off if you're not expecting it. It's got a lot of uncomfortable situations, but again, the story is so at points interesting and easy to follow. And it's one of those things where it's like, I think that a lot of general audiences, if they give this a chance, will really enjoy this, because I didn't expect this kind of a story looking at the trailer.
Yeah.
They don't give you much of it, but what it comes down to, and again, I think the elements of comedy will really bring people in. I just hope a lot of people check this out. I feel like, it's obviously Thursday night when we're recording this, but I think that this is probably going to do okay in theaters. I feel like this is going to be a movie that's going to really show its teeth on streaming. I think more
Yes.
people are going to check it out, and I think more people are going to enjoy it. I would definitely, I give this a very high recommendation, because I think that this can appease a broad audience.
Yeah, and like you're saying, this is probably going to find a really nice home when it starts to stream, because we had to go out of our way to actually check this out. I don't think this is going to get a huge release,
No, I don't
unfortunately.
think so either.
Um, but I can easily see this being, on one of those random articles saying the best horror film that's been streaming for in whatever month, and it's number one, on Netflix or something like that. I can easily see Infinity Pool fitting that bill, just because it is unique in its own right, but then also has the elements that are easy enough for an audience to be able to say, I'm gonna let Brandon Cronenberg take me on this experience, and I'm going to understand it. And it's just been, we sit here end of January almost, and it is just like, what a almost a wine tasting the horror community has had in January, where it's like so many different things that we were able to digest, and all have their own uniqueness, and have their own audience. And man, already, we've talked about it already in a couple videos where 2022 ended strong, strong year overall. January of 2023 is no different so far.
Yeah, it's been great, and I'm really happy with how this turned out. Like I said, I've been looking forward to this all month long. I think I've mentioned it just about every Sunday Scaries that it was coming out, and I'm just happy that it's great. Like, it's something that I really found myself enjoying, and yeah, I mean, I guess that's a glowing endorsement from us here. Is just like, if you are interested. If horror is your thing, if you like a little bit of sci-fi mixed in with a good dash of comedy, and a little bit of the surreal, this is a perfect movie for you. And I cannot wait to see this when it comes back out. And also, I am more intrigued than ever to see the NC-17 cut. I just want to see what the difference was, because again, I think this really pushes that limit. Like, you could tell they probably just got it to where it was an R, because it already feels like there's quite a lot more than your standard typical rated R. So
Yeah, I'm excited to see that cut as well. I own all the criterions for David Cronenberg, and now I know I'm gonna start collecting Brandon Cronenberg stuff.
mhm.
So he's someone where I just have Possessor on digital right now, but I'm definitely gonna start picking up actual physical copies of all his things. I'm excited to see what he does next. Honestly, like, we're gonna have to dust off that review of Antiviral, and get down to that one, because now I'm definitely going to have to complete this very short filmography of his.
Absolutely. And hopefully we don't have to wait too long for his next one. But Alrighty, guys, that's going to wrap us up for our review of Infinity Pool. Definitely go check it out this weekend if you are interested, because it is a trip and a very enjoyable one at that. Yeah, strong January. What a great review to end the month off with. We're moving into February. We got a lot of great stuff coming your way, not only on the channel, but a lot of great reviews to be looking forward to. You know, we got a new M. Night Shyamalan movie. We got Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey coming up. Like, it's going to be another interesting month. So we'll see. Another diverse showing, I should say. And that is not to say that there isn't going to be, I'm sure, a few little indie gems that pop up here and there on streaming services, or maybe even playing near us. So we shall see. But yeah, other than that, you guys can hit that subscribe button if you're just finding us now. We are on our way to 1,000 subscribers, and yeah, it's been a journey, and we love bringing you guys this content. We also have a couple of interviews up on the channel right now. Our biggest one probably being with Kyle Edward Ball, director of Skinamarink, as well as our review for that film. And of course, we're doing The Last of Us week by week, so definitely check those videos out and keep up with us. Every Sunday night, we post a video. So, alrighty, guys. Well, that's going to wrap us up here. So until next time, I am Dylan Newell.
And I'm Luke Janesco.
And remember, stay scared.
Show me how strong you are.